Seasons greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Triple Threat. I am your host, Big D, and to my right, the California Kid.
Hey, how's it going?
And on the phone, the myth, the legend, and another guy that probably is stuffed the pipe.
You just fucking said season's green.
Well, it is the.
I figured you would have said ho 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 or something.
No, we'll leave that to
No.
leader. Or hats out to Duggan.
Yeah, hacks.
Alright, guys, so I hope everybody had.
I would have said Bellas, but that works,
True.
But you do your thing. You're working.
Yeah. So I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and a good Black Friday. Hope nobody got trampled. Let's get right down to it. During the week, CM Punk finally broke his silence and went on his friend Colt Cabana's podcast, The Art of Wrestling, and finally gave his side of the story of why he left WWE. Very interested interview, and if you haven't listened, please go and check it out. If you got Stitcher or any podcast app, it should be on there.
I think it's available on the iTunes thing.
Yeah, it is available on iTunes.
But luckily, thanks to the marks out there, there's like tons of it on YouTube, like tons of different people. The whole interview on YouTube, and that's what I did. I was on the podcast, but wasn't available. Even Colt Cabana was asking iTunes or Podcast One for help, like what's going on. It was really fucked up, but luckily I found it on YouTube. So yeah.
Yeah, but we want to at least give Colt Cabana some help because I guess he gets paid for stuff like that if it's on Stitcher and stuff like that. But just go out and find any way you can. Very good.
Do the best you can.
Yeah. I had to say, very good interview. Punk goes into very, very detail about what happened to him. He first started off by saying that it's not a shoe, but it pretty much was. Well, he pretty much shoe on two major people. But he says that he is bitter, but, it's good to be bitter. But he doesn't want to come off as like a, he knows he's not a nice guy to deal with and the easiest guy to deal with. But so we get into some of the topics. He talks about that he had a concussion after the Royal Rumble. I think he said it was due to COVID. I think
it was COVID after the
when he did that flip in the ring.
Yeah, and he
was right. That was sick.
Yeah. And he was wrestling injured, notably due to the broken rib sustained by Ryback. If you guys remember back on Raw when him and Ryback was feuding, that one scene where Ryback was supposed to power lift him through the table, and he didn't. He tried, but and he completely missed the table, and Punk hit like the side of it, and he hit the floor completely, and Punk hit the concrete, and you can clearly tell by looking at him that he was hurt. He was really pissed about that. But speaking of Ryback,
I'm sure a lot of Los Angeles Kings fans didn't mind though.
Yeah, and like I said before, he goes real into detail about Ryback. Telling him the guy can't wrestle.
That was probably the second one he talked to the guy at worst. The second person got worse than anybody in that interview.
Yeah, he really tore into him on the fact, just his work, being unsafe and a lot of,
steroid guy.
Yeah, the ribs. He said,
Yeah, he took a shot at him, calling him the steroids guy.
Yeah.
Just saying, he's dangerous. And they're like, Ryback, I'm stupid,
Oh, the story.
And Ryback did respond to those things. He put out a tweet saying that most of it was lies and that the truth would come out. and that he basically took a shot at Punk, saying that things don't go my way, I still come out and do my job. I got it right here. It says, for the record, if I quit for being fragile and insecure, I would make up excuses too. Things don't go my way for a long time, and I keep going day in, day out. Slander is a powerful thing, and to state complete made up nonsense for no reason shows his insecurities. I will continue to bust my ass, steady matches every chance I get. Cut promos when driving and pushing myself for hours on end, even when hurt. Thank you.
You go, girlfriend.
And then he deleted the post.
Of
I
course
just
he did,
imagine him
because it
sitting on
was
that one
he.
wagon, waving his finger like a sister, like I can do my work and do.
Hmm. But I did like that part where he went up to Ryback and asked him, "Are you just plain stupid, or you did that shit on purpose?"
Yeah,
And he said, "Ryback said I'm just stupid."
I just said he said that.
Huh?
I just said he said that. That's what I said.
yeah, and it was like it was horrible, like
Yeah, it was like pretty. You wonder. Yeah, I can see Ryback being like that. He could say like, "Oh, I'm stupid,"
Yeah. He also did talk about how he came up with the idea of having sponsors, but WWE shot him down. And
I'm
then
not
he talked
surprised.
about
That
how
made me mad because that is actually a really cool idea.
he talked about how he
Like they're
wants
already losing money for the network. It's just like help them out a little bit. I just think that'd be something cool to do.
he talked
It
about he talked
wouldn't
about
be just like I wouldn't be just making money. It'd be for the boys. You know what I'm saying?
he talked about having sponsors, and then he talks about how he was upset when he saw that Brock Lesnar, when he came back, he had sponsors on his trousers and on his shirt, and he thought it was kind of unfair, even though he did point out that Brock probably did have sponsors left over when he came from
Prior.
UFC to WWE.
Yeah.
He did goes on to
Yeah, you can't turn away those jack links.
yeah. He then goes on to bash triple talk about how what was the guy's his friend from UFC?
Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, he wanted to go to the ring with him and help promote WWE by going to the ring with
You
him.
didn't hear that shit? How you want to do that? And he go cold like that man said, "Oh, you can't. It's UFC. People die."
Yeah, people. He
I
said
know.
people.
It's like, are you shitting me, man?
Yeah,
And
Vince said people died. Then turn
for a
around.
guy who sees sees UFC as non-competition, you shouldn't take that seriously.
Yeah, but we get into that one a little bit
And he
later.
was like saying that and like, they got women fighting there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vince doesn't realize that he has women wrestling or
Yeah.
so-called
You know,
wrestling.
it's like Vince, do you realize that's how we want your women to fight?
It's the double standard, man. It's really like the way things have always been described by certain people.
What
They
and what's the hypocrisy? The fact that he couldn't do that, but Triple H got to do that with
Mayweather.
Money Mayweather, and the
Yeah,
fact they even bring up the fact that hell Batista did that with Manny Pacquiao.
was that before he came back or after?
That was like while he was there, like before he went like the first time.
Oh,
Are we
And he
heading toward
actually walked
Triple
with
H?
Manny Pacquiao.
well, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So. And I like the fact that when he said that when he mentioned Batista and Brock, he was going like, actually, for you dirt sheets, we're friends. I get along with Batista. Brock Lesnar was Batista was sitting on my couch a few days ago. We're cool. Me and Brock are cool.
I wonder if that's really true or not. Because
You know,
Brock does not look like he's a people person.
this. I'm just trying to picture Vince saying that up on your family. I owe you one.
I could see that actually, and it's been
Well, I
You
mean,
can see it, but
look at the past when
one way you can see it, but then actually seeing that.
well, look at what past reports with the Ultimate Warrior when he talked about what Linda said
yeah.
at his acceptance speech, how you know Ultimate Warrior used to come to Vince's house and how they would interact with each other. as family.
And it's funny because Ultimate Warrior was a man who ran into a wall because he, along with Bret Hart and a few others, have complained that Vince McMahon will bring this sort of good boss family kind of thing to them, but then at the same time, when it comes down to the gut of it, if he doesn't believe that something's going to be good for business, he won't keep his word. That's the one thing about it that you get a lot of from people
Yeah.
who have had bad, like even with Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, that was bitter.
Yeah,
You got guys who, and it says something about not only Vince McMahon but just the way things are ran.
yeah. And I think the straw that broke the camel's back was Punk's involvement with a certain physician, and how he kept telling the doctor that something was wrong with him, but the doctor wouldn't, do anything about it. Punk kept saying about how when he went on the European tour, he was full of antibodies. He got sick. He shit his pants in one match,
Yeah.
and the doctor kept telling him there was nothing wrong with it. He wouldn't check or do anything about it. He also talked about how the concussion test is bullshit, and how they wanted him to run the ropes, and Punk told him that he wasn't going to do that shit. And he also talked about how they wanted him to do a drug test, and he really laid on saying that they and I think this is like going at what we were talking about Randy Orton about how dude should have had like his third strike, but they swept it on the rug and gave him like a loophole so he wouldn't have like a third strike. And Punk was saying like, well, you got guys who's on their second or third strike, but you guys, sweep it on the rug so they won't get fired or suspended. But I gotta take a drug test, and that really pissed off Punk. And when Punk was gone, and AJ told him to go see her doctor, turns out that and the doctor,
He
realized what
shouldn't
it
have did it.
was that day. He said it was a staph infection,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
and
David said, like how long he had it, he was still wrestling, like he could have died.
yeah,
And, you know,
and then Punk laid into Triple H. He talked about how he called Vince and Triple H back to the backstage area. He pretty much told him that he didn't want to do it anymore, that it wasn't fun anymore. I think he said something like Vince. He told Vince that if he wasn't doing stuff at the park, that he should fire him. And then he goes in and for Punk's clarification, he said that he turned to Triple H and said that he didn't want to wrestle Triple H in no WrestleMania. He thought it was a bad idea, and he still held a grudge for Triple H squashing him when he was hot, and he thought that Daniel Bryan should have the spot, but just like him, Triple H just doesn't get it. And he even said that you're not even worthy of me facing you at WrestleMania.
I'm glad he said that.
And he said that Triple H was pissed off about that shit.
he should have paid him as much as he's paid a lot of the other top guys, and you know, especially that match was the fucking main event. Hell,
And he spent a lot of time trying to get off, trying to get up, trying to get time off. He was even willing to do a movie to try to get
he was
time off.
begging to do a fucking movie just so he can have a weekend
Oh
off.
yeah, that was one of
Would
the
have been a shitty movie.
that was one of the shots at Triple H where he said that he was supposed to be the lead in what was it, 12 rounds
It
2,
was
12
12 rounds
rounds
too,
too.
yeah.
and Triple H was telling him that he was going to be the star of the movie, but Punk was telling him that it was during the European tour, and 100% it wasn't. And then come to find out
Like,
he
Paul,
had to,
it's like, you've done hundreds of these. You know this is the European tour. You know, I
But
mean, that's when it is. And just like, you gonna smoke up the ass as usual, you know?
yeah, and then Punk learned from the internet that Randy got the gig, and it pissed off Punk because he thought that Triple H should have called him and told him that, you know, the part went to somebody else.
I read into this as though like
If I was Punk, I'd just be happy I didn't have to do a sorry movie.
yeah, that wouldn't have been the best. It just, it reads out as though, Triple H. I was listening to an interview with Ivory, Tina Fey, and she even described Triple H's demeanor as being kind of like that, kind of, half and half, kind of all fluff sometimes, and then sometimes he is serious, sometimes he'll just like, he'd blow smoke. Everybody talks about, Triple H as being, a smoke blower when he has to be. I think they really just tracked the line, really though, because like if you're grossing, if you're actually making money, it doesn't matter if you're drawing more than the John Cena on the company. If they don't like you, I think it comes down to this: if you don't fit the mold of what they consider to be a champion or a main eventer, even if you work hard for it, like they'll give you what they have no choice but to give you, but they're not going to put the machine behind you as they described it. Because you look at a situation like this, like even to a degree, which I was surprised about. You guys remember the stories about when Kurt Angle talked about he was hurt and he was ready to leave and he was hurt and he was, he had the fight to get off and
Yeah.
you hear all these stories, even with Shawn Michaels, you hear all these stories, but it's funny how Shawn Michaels is able to just leave, like,
Yeah.
and other people have to like fight, scrape, and battle the machine to get out. It's just kind of, to me, it's just kind of like, wow, you want to talk about a kind of a awkward system where, you know, you either, if you didn't kiss enough butt, then apparently you can't, you lose certain privileges. It just, that's what it reads to me, with this CM Punk interview. And it's just interesting about this company, like, wow, how, if you work there, what do you have to do to have to have full privileges? You know, it's just wow. It's bad, man. I hate seeing, I hate to hear stuff like this.
One of the cool things was that apparently Punk said that it was his idea for the Shield, and it was supposed to be Dean, Seth, and Chris Hero, but for some
They
But
reason,
shot
you know,
Chris
of
Hero
course,
down.
Triple H
Triple
never
tri-
liked Hero,
Triple
so
H shot him down.
yeah, he said that Hero couldn't be part of it, so Rollins had to be in it, and instead of saying Rollins' name, Punk called him Pretty Boy.
no, that was Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Roman Reigns. Sorry.
They wanted their big guy.
Yeah, that was their kid. That was their number one FCW guy. You know.
Yeah. So after the exchange, Punk said that Vince hugged him, and I think that was where they said the family line from. And
Yeah.
he shook Triple H's hand. So months go by, Vince called him up, asked him if he was better, but Punk said no. Then Punk said that Vince suspended him, and I think it was like 2 weeks after leaving, and he was suspended for 2 months. And when the suspension ended, he wasn't contacted by the company, and he basically was given the runaround. And he realized that he wasn't getting his royalties, so he kept calling and calling. And then on his wedding day, he received a termination paper that said that he breached his contract. And Punk, being the smart guy that he is, realized that WWE couldn't do that. So, like any reasonable person, he went and got him a lawyer, and they sued the hell out of him.
Yeah, they did.
And I love the part where Punk talks about how in court WWE was trying to say like he's going to TNA, he's going to TNA. I'm like, dude, you know Punk is not going to TNA. He hates the motherfucker. He talks shit about him. And it's just funny. Punk talks about how he pretty much got everything he wanted and even more. He said that WWE wanted him to do a joint statement with him. He said told him to fuck off. And
You know, the funny thing that instead of trying to pull on a contract, he can't go to UFC. He said he put on his and Del Rio's settlement thing. You know,
yeah, that makes sense.
which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. The funny thing is, he got that text on his wedding day, so that was something. Punk has made it very clear that he would never have a working relationship with WWE again. I well, Vince, I think Vince would be open to it. Triple H, on the other hand, I doubt it
Triple H is one of those
seriously.
guys who, like, yeah, I'm more or less thinking that Triple H is the guy in the room that won't like you, you know, and it's kind of like it makes you wonder who that unmentioned person was that Tommy Dreamer keeps talking about, but won't say their name, who didn't like him, in the company. He never names the person, but Tommy Dreamer always talks about there was one guy who didn't like me, and that's why I didn't stay long. It was just, I don't know. It's curious, this company. You have the situation with Alberto Del Rio, where one racist joke is thrown, he hits the guy, which he was in total right to do,
No, he
and
wasn't.
then
He
and
wasn't
then
told right to
well,
do it.
no, but the guy, in my opinion, the guy that coming, that's my opinion.
Yeah, he
But
had it coming, but technically he really
no, he
had the right to hit
wasn't.
him.
No, he didn't. But no, he didn't officially. But I think the guy had it coming. But I'm glad. Like I said, I was glad that he did do something about it. But it's just interesting that nothing happened to this guy. He blatantly out and said that a successful Hispanic man should be washing his plate. I mean, does it get any more insulting than that? You know,
It's pretty ridiculous, but
I mean, does it? Does it really get any more insulting than that? And then the fact that they don't that the guy, to our knowledge, has received no punishment whatsoever, at least not publicized. And what does that say to the rest of the roster? I mean, it's interesting you're there, and I like what CM Punk said. It's because it's the only game in town. Is the why you're there, because it's the only game in town, and you want to be there because you grew up with it. I think that's, in terms of its talent, that may be the promotion's only real trump card. Everybody talks about Vince knows how to run a business. I think when people you hear a lot of black wrestlers who have left WWE call him a racist. Maybe I see it more as he's just this ruthless businessman who doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care where you're from. He's gonna get everything he can out of you, and he's gonna make his money at the end of the day. You
Basically,
know.
Vince McMahon is out of touch with reality. This is the same guy that went on ECW as ECW champion with a fucking bandana and said, nigga, my nigga,
Yeah, he did.
to John Cena. Which, if it was somebody black, he would have gotten smacked me down.
I think it's they're just a bunch of hokey people. I think the writing team along with Vincent Mann are so hokey that
It's
like,
not I wouldn't say it's the right team. I just say it's Vince. Vince is an old man that's still. I mean, you go down the line of the WWE history and look at all the bullshit storylines that they
oh
made,
yeah,
from the gobbledygook to
he's hokey.
he's out of touch. And I say this, if what Punk say is true, and I'm not taking this as 100% for Punk, even though I am a Punk fan and I do consider Punk as one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm not gonna take everything he said to heart because like Roda was saying to a fan on Twitter, there's two sides of every story. But you can look down the line on the history that Vince is way out of touch with reality. Some of the skits they do on Raw is just plain boring. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And I hate to say it, but if what Punk say is true about this, Hunter takes a big hit because now this is like pretty much dead his leadership.
Well, it's just that somebody of high credibility finally got in there and said something. You know.
Yeah, it's just like what Punk was making light to in the interview about the NFL and WWE. The NFL is getting the asses handed to them about the wellness, of the players,
Yeah.
and about the concussions. While as WWE, they making sure that they're on top by putting out the press release about doctors and the concussion and all that stuff, because they did it like after the whole Benoit thing. And sure enough, after Punk's interview came out, WWE released a statement about they stick behind their doctors,
Oh yeah,
100%.
the
Even though they
note.
left out the doctor who Punk named in the interview. Um, but Punk said that he's pretty much done with wrestling. He doesn't have the love for it anymore. He's turned off, and you know it
I
seems like Punk's in a good place because he got picked up by Marvel. Then he's now working with Marvel on a
Yeah,
project.
working on
this
comic books and stuff.
this opens the
Yeah,
floor.
so it just goes to show you. I think Punk is a session because the dude's got money. He doesn't really need um, money from Vince, and he can do other projects. And I think that's why most wrestlers don't come out because they're not in the position like Punk that can fall back on
You know, fallback. Yeah,
their money and can do other stuff, and not hoping and wishing that you know Vince and then will call them for another run. And I think that's why Punk's able to come out and say all these stuff.
it's the mentality though. Like, okay, they tell like what CM Punk was saying about the way they reprogram you. They get you thinking, oh, what would so and so do? What would Harley Race do? Well, they also I think part of the environment from hearing so many wrestling shoot interviews and then hearing this, part of the mentality has to do with the fact that okay, you see the undercard, they're making 500 a match. You see the mid card, they may make 170, $200,000 a year, and then there's the main card that's pulling like half a million to a million maybe, And I remember what CM Punk was saying, like he said, like what was he said? John Cena got $8 million or something like that, and
Yeah,
he
he
was
said
saying,
that Rock got more, Undertaker got more, and Cena got more than he did. He also did bring up the fact that he knew that the WWE network was coming, and he kept asking Vince about how that's going to affect his check. And he said that Vince laughed it off, and that he never got around to telling him how that would affect him. And he kept saying ever since the network came out, his check kept getting smaller and smaller because of it.
yeah, and it brings about something that I remember listening to an interview. Al Snow was talking about this, like the best match of the night, the best match on the card. You know, he went into detail about the conjecture dealing with putting asses in seats versus having classic matches for the more for the more committed fans. Of course, but CM Punk brings about an interesting case here. At one point, I mean, he's not only putting on great matches, he's actually drawing. I mean, he was drawing at one point, but I think to a degree, the company saw him as not drawing like John Cena based on they said they're thinking like I think they're thinking on the lines of okay, we put CM Punk out there, if we get behind CM Punk, see somebody or a few people probably voted nay. Like CM Punk will not draw on his own. CM Punk cannot draw people on his own. He doesn't look like he's not going to draw the right wing audience members. He's not going to draw and I think it has to do with just the mindset when when you're on the marketing team. Is our audience more liberal or are they more conservative? We have a tattooed man with he's a pretty good looking young man, but he's not big. He doesn't represent the traditional Hanna-Barbera Vince McMahon, like you said, Vince McMahon with his old ideals. Vince McMahon doesn't represent the build of what we want to be represented as a company. I think that's why no matter how hard CM Punk worked, no matter what he did to prove, even if he outsold John Cena in merchandise, I really don't think the company was going to get behind them. Now, and I think that Triple H just poured more fuel onto the fire to bury him. I think that's why they dragged out the injuries to a degree. I really think I don't know if they wanted to try to make him quit, or I don't know if they just were running the same game they always run. But when you look at something like that, you really gotta wonder, okay, they're going to start trying to force feed you. You should be thankful. You should be thankful you're making what you're making. Well, and I like what CM Punk said. Pay me what I'm worth. Pay me what I'm worth. That really, I really honestly believe that part of it is the fact that he really wanted. It wasn't about money to him, but at the same time, I think to a degree, like, okay, I wanna, if at least, this is an insult to me. I just had the best match on the card. Pay me what I'm worth. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Punk said something about that in the interview. I think he said that Vince and who was the other one? I think it was Kevin Dunn said that he
Kevin
had
Dunn.
the best match with Taker, and Punk
Everybody's
said
saying
he
it should have went
know.
last. Everybody's saying it should have went on last.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's pretty much all the details of the Punk interview. He crashed Colt Cabana's website, and he got a thank you from Mick Foley about it. And Colt pretty much said that he just did it for his friend to get the stuff off his chest. You know, but a lot of the wrestlers. A lot of rumors said that a lot of wrestlers liked it. Even some of the Punk naysayers said that they like it. And the only people that seemed to be pissed about it was Stephanie and Triple H.
Of course they are.
So I think this pretty much explains what happened to AJ at Survivor Series, which we're going to get into.
Yes.
Now remember, fans, if you see CM Punk at a Blackhawk game and you want a picture autograph, just say please, because he's very sensitive about that.
Oh yeah, he did get
And
it.
wait till the intermission.
Don't bother him. He's trying to get his wife a hot dog and whatnot, and be like, "Hey, Phil,"
Yeah.
Please have a picture because he has no problem with that. Just be respectful when you ask,
Yeah, he did say, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. And if you're mean to me, then I'll be mean to you.
Yeah.
But,
that's why, that's why I love reading his tweets. His tweets are some of the best shit on Twitter,
But now it seems
like he'll block a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But now it seems like apparently the rumor is that Punk is now on the ban list, the famous blacklist of not WCW, but WWE. And also Colt Cabana is on that blacklist because of the.
Damn, that means Scotty Goldman's not coming back. Oh, damn. I was hoping to see him on Main Event soon.
He's on that list with Teddy Hart.
Did you see the tweet that he put out? He said, like, all the Scotty Goldman.
Did you see Scotty Goldman job into the Ascension on Main Event?
Did you see the tweet where he put out? He said, all the Scotty Goldman stuff be taken down WWE Network. He like, oh, wait.
Oh, man. That sucks. I could have been seeing Scotty Goldman fight Justin Gabriel on Main Event. Or jobbing the fucking Tyson Kidd or something.
Or Heath Slater.
Or, just like, damn. I think CM Punk don't do a shit. His main focus are AJ, Marvel, and what's going to happen on Walking Dead tonight.
Well, of course, CM Punk don't give a shit. But we're talking about Colt Cabana.
It's very discouraging.
Don't give a shit either. Shit.
I mean, it's discouraging.
What the fuck does Colt Cabana have to care for?
It's sad. It's sad that the business is being like it. It's good that I guess for people, especially for aspiring people looking to get into the business, that they know what they're getting themselves into, and if they think they can hack it, because Vince McMahon himself, when he was on HBO, and he said himself, if you can't hack it, get out, get out. If you can't hack it, get out. I think
I got out. You're gonna pay me, but I'm still getting out.
Exactly, but it's kind of like. It kind of goes back to that, like you look at the business. I mean, there are a lot of guys in the indies who are thinking about making it. Everybody wants to make it. And this before we change that, I want to just cover this. Everyone talks about they want to make it. Like I'm talking to all you indie guys out there. You talking about you want to make it. You want to make TV. You want to get on salary. Well, this is a very not only is the business like I can see why someone would get discouraged about pursuing professional wrestling. I mean, the whole business is like this, even on the smaller scales, and I think that's something that, that needs to be addressed. If you look at this interview, if you listen to this interview, I hope all of you get a idea that, maybe having a fallback isn't such a bad idea because, I mean, ultimately, you may never make it. And if you do make it, even though you think you've made it, you still may not have made it in CM Punk's case. Because, I mean, you can make it to a degree, but then you're not getting paid what you're worth. Because the owner of the company happens to have a Hanna-Barbera mindset. There you go.
Well, just note that there is going to be a part 2 to the interview where CM Punk will take fan questions. So we will all listen to it and we'll discuss it on the next Triple Threat.
Like Robert, CM Punk, best independent contractor in the world.
Oh yeah, before we move on, do you think that AJ gonna get totally buried on Monday for this?
How much more buried can she get?
Yeah, really. That was one of the worst.
I mean, after Survivor Series,
I can't wait till we get to Survivor Series. I want to say some things about this paper.
All right. Before we get into Survivor Series,
I mean, I think she probably will, and probably have Nikki Bella do some rant on her that's really what Stephanie Triple H is saying, but it's just coming out of Nikki Bella's mouth.
You think they're gonna pull a Wendy Richter?
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, even though she doesn't have the title now.
Personally written by Stephanie Triple H, and then have Nikki Bella come out there tomorrow and say all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you get out of here and go read a comic book or some shit?
Well, let's get into some details from Raw before Survivor Series. Pretty much the only things that we have to talk about is the Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper match for the Intercontinental title, in which Luke Harper won the title, which was shocking.
How crazy is that? He's the first one in the family to get a damn belt.
Yeah, if all the families should have won the tag titles.
I mean, really, that is like good for him, you know.
They really dragged the Wyatts. I mean, I'm glad they finally gave Luke Harper some. He's nimble, man. I like the guy because he's nimble.
They should have won those. Him and Rowan should have won those tag belts at least.
They should have. Really.
I mean, they gave it their all, and they're fun to watch. Luke Harper is super talented, so I'm intrigued to see where it's gonna
go. Yeah, with him as champion, I haven't gotten used to him being on his own, though.
Could do without I could do without the eyes thing during the intro.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, I could really do without that, but
Big Show versus Sheamus were.
He at least wear a clean shirt every once in a while. Those shirts look like they just got used for washing a car or some shit. And it's like, it is rap. I guess it is his name is hell, man.
Yeah. Big Show versus Sheamus, in which Sheamus was taken out by Rusev and Mark Henry, and was pretty much out as Team Cena. Kind of a crappy way to go. So they had a big thing at the end of the night where.
How long is he
out? Don't really know, but I want y'all to remember one thing. Remember, not Kofi, but Jack Swagger was also picked to be in Cena's team, and he was taken out by the Authority. I want y'all to remember that.
Yeah.
We really don't.
Well, just hold on for a few seconds.
We really don't want to.
So, they had a big signing, and, they had Cesaro come down and make believe that he was going to be on Team Cena, and then, it was just a joke. The shock of the night was Eric Rollins coming out and joining Team Cena, which I'm going to be honest, I'm really kind of surprised that they're going to try to turn this dude face, and he was part of the Wyatt clan. So
They just don't know what they're doing. They should have never even split them. But go ahead.
I don't know how that's gonna work. And then Ryback comes out and, you know, that's John Cena's team. So now it's time for us to run down Survivor Series.
That was the only funny thing about Grumpy Cat being there that one time was when Rowan popped up.
Oh yeah. Did anybody see that?
Like,
Did anybody see that shit?
Was with Miz now talking to Grumpy Cat and Rowan showed up. That was funny.
It looked like that damn cat was asleep. No, I can't blame him though.
Yeah.
That Grumpy Cat's such a diva.
What the fuck was up with his fucking mask? It looked like it was fucking tore to shit.
I don't know.
I mean, he couldn't get one from the souvenir stand.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
Yeah, it did look rough. Or maybe that's part of the gimmick. I don't know.
Okay, so let's go down the card for Survivor Series. Pre-show was the new and the improved Fandango.
Don't even bother trying, man.
Fuck you.
I want to put this out.
Can someone please explain to me what the fuck is so new about him?
Can someone
other than that?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't. Number one, I'm going to express my opinion on this. I don't think that they should have ever repackaged him. I just think they really dropped the ball on him because he had a good old school feeling kind of gimmick that actually worked for once. It had
really.
the dance
only thing
thing
that worked was the song got over.
I liked it. I liked the whole gimmick. I thought it was good. I liked the whole gimmick. I just wish they would have used him in a serious manner. It would have been good. He could have
used the dancer in a serious gimmick.
Yeah, I mean his wrestling. I would have seen it more as he could have stayed more to a heel side of things and viewed it with I really wanted to see him versus Del Rio in a feud program. I really wanted to see that program. That would have been a good program because it would have been to the degree of Shawn Michaels versus Rick DeMarco Martel kind of feel to it. It would have had that kind of feel to it. That's what I was hoping for with that. But they just made him more of just this goofy gimmick, and I saw promise there. I saw something that could have been. Now they're going with I guess they made it more of a darker kind of. Now he's a salsa dancer now or something. Now he's wearing red roses now or something. He's like salsaing now. He was what is it, a Tampico dancer before? Now he's salsa.
Enjoy while you can, Fandango.
Yeah, when they repackage you, that means they don't know what to do with you.
Anyway, Fandango versus Justin Gabriel. Fandango won.
Of course he did.
Okay. Remember what I was telling you about Jack Swagger? Well, apparently Jack Swagger healed from all his wounds and he faced Cesaro during the pre-show and got the win. So fuck continuity. And fuck Cesaro too, because I'm pretty much guess he's still in the doghouse.
Even Punk was saying Cesaro, man, they're burying him.
All right, let's go to the next match. The fatal four-way for the WWE Tag Titles: the Usos versus Damian Mizdow, and the Miz versus Los Matadores versus Gold and Stardust. Decent match. You can clearly tell the crowd was behind Mizdow.
They loved
him. To the point where
he's definitely one of the most over guys.
He's over.
Right,
to the point where even Stardust made fun, saying that y'all want Mizdow, but you really want Stardust during the match. And Mizdow got the win by tagging himself in and covering. I think it was one of the Usos, right?
Yeah, no, because the Uso, when is that the Uso did the finisher, but the Mizdow tagged him first?
Yeah. Uso nailed the splash on Goldust. Miz tags in to get the win, but Sandow tags himself in, and he covered Goldust for the win. So your new tag team champions are Mizdow and the Miz. So there you go. At least I think
Mizdow.
I think this is like his second title. I can't be wrong. Did he have the Intercontinental or the U.S. title before?
No, he never won.
Oh, so this is first.
I think that's his first belt.
Damn. You go from winning the Money in the Bank to
It
win
took
the
you.
tag
Damn
titles.
it! It took you being like the Miz to finally get a damn belt.
That sucks.
It's like Bray Wyatt, you jealous?
Damn. Burn.
Mm.
And I love Bray Wyatt. I was either gonna say him or somebody that just felt right with saying Bray Wyatt. I love you, Bray Wyatt. Please don't bring buzzers to my house.
Mm.
No, but I'm happy for them. I love the gimmick. It's one of the few funny things they got in that whole damn company, and well deserved. And you know the moment's coming where he's gonna just say, "Here's I quit," beat the shit out of him or something, just pull basically an Alex Riley or whatever. But until then, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Put Miz down in the movie already.
Oh God.
Yeah. Put him in the Condemned too.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Next match is a traditional Survivor Series match: Paige, Karen, Summer Rae, and Layla versus Natalia, Emma, Naomi, and Alicia Fox. Okay, let's be honest. The only
You
good.
memorize all that if you write, you should read it off the paper.
Oh my God.
Shut up. Let's be honest. The only good thing about this match was what Naomi was wearing and Natalia. That's pretty much it. And Paige, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I just like how dangerous it was.
This was a clusterfuck.
And that's all I liked about it. It was just chaotic. Like nobody. There was no. It's like they didn't coordinate this thing. They just went out there and did it. And like you can't do that with someone like Layla. You can't do that, man. Like somebody's gonna get hurt. Oh my God! I saw several moments where somebody almost got killed. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was hilarious.
Pike, you have anything to say about this match?
Fuck, man, I was watching The Simpsons during all that. I didn't see that shit.
All right.
Yeah, but what do you think? Like that Paige was the last he was in that group. Didn't lose. I don't know.
I didn't see the point.
I'm disappointed. I thought that was gonna be match of the night.
Well, it was for Total Diva, so there you go. The winners are Natalia, Emma, Naomi, and Alicia Fox. Does anybody else want to tell them that Alicia Fox is a heel?
They don't even know.
I don't know why they do. Yeah, why is she? I didn't get that.
No.
I don't think Alicia Fox knows at this point what the hell she is.
I just okay, Alicia Fox is supposed to be like the psycho, like the nut.
And here we go to match of the night, in my opinion. Dean Ambrose versus Barrett Wyatt. Pretty good match.
I love this feud. This feud is awesome.
Pretty good match. Did not kind of like the ending though. Didn't see the whole reason why Dean Ambrose had to take the loss, but at least he did get the upper hand on Wyatt with the chairs, and then
it's a lot of psychological in this feud.
Yes, I know.
Really trying to get to him. Like, I'm trying to help you.
Then get hit with the elbow off the top rope through the table, and then all the chairs get thrown in, aka Terry Funk and Cactus Jack style, and then send up the ladder promoting TLC.
And I gotta ask you guys, what was the last major singles match, like a singles match that mattered that Bray Wyatt's won? Like, name one that I can.
When he beat Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, it was a pretty good match.
I know, but what other than that has he won anything else?
You're talking about one that he won.
In a big program, a big build program. Has he ever just straight up beat somebody like a heel should?
Not in my knowledge.
Bray Wyatt, in my opinion, has been
Did he end up beating Cena?
No.
Yeah, but that was like after WrestleMania.
That it didn't matter at that point. It was pointless. It didn't matter. It was his pointless. He won, but it wasn't a major match. The major matches at WrestleMania where it mattered, where it could have brought some credibility.
Man, at WrestleMania, you could be like the third to last match and still be considered the main event for me.
It's just okay. You got a guy.
Now you use the Triple H logic.
Yeah, really. Like you got a guy who's putting out these great promos and builds in these programs, and like he's he gets to the main event, every big main event of the program, he's either getting his ass kicked or he's losing. I'm just like, come on, how is he credible? Like, how do these threats matter if he hasn't done anything? Like, oh, we're not going to let him win at the big pay per view. We're just going to let him win the night after. We're going to give him. I'm just like, oh, we may let him win a match on Raw one night. I mean, this guy is threatening, is making the most awesome shit happen, and like he can't win a match.
WWE logic, my friend. WWE logic.
No, new WWE logic. WWF didn't used to do this.
I said WWE. I didn't say anything about WWF.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Anyway, next match: Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater. Fuck it.
My God.
Fuck it.
What is the point?
Okay, here we go. He goes to ranting. WWE Divas title match: Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee. No, fuck it. I just said fuck it.
Is it Darren Young?
No, they didn't say who it was.
I'm just saying, we talk about every match. I'm just asking,
I just said you don't give a fuck about that match. That's why I said.
But we gave a fuck about that Diva match. I'm just saying. At least with the Bunny, we can just play around like who could it be.
Okay, the rabbit. Here's my thing. I don't see the point. I don't know why they're even. I don't know why they're causing tension in the group this early. It's way too early to be causing. It's way too early to be causing.
Just get rid of the damn gimmick and put him back as what's the name? Leo Kruger already. Me done with it. Let's get to this Divas match.
You're being a real lemon, man.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Seriously.
Go ahead, next match. Go ahead.
Alright. Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee. You talking about fucking jobbing. That's a
straight up middle finger. That's like the fourth middle finger they have given AJ since she's been there.
I mean, we can pretty much say, I don't care what anybody say, like, oh, it was because
she was better than Paige beat her.
Huh?
That was worse than when Paige beat her.
Well, they pretty much redid the whole Daniel Bryan stint from, what was it, WrestleMania 20...
We don't know which one. Let's move on.
Well, when he faced Sheamus and he got kissed by AJ and then got bro kicked and lost the heavyweight title.
They just reenacted it.
Seconds?
Yeah.
They reenacted it.
And I guess
like you didn't like seeing them kiss.
Moving on. I guess Bree is now a heel because after the match she was smiling. She raised her sister's hand. So fuck continuity, fuck logic.
That must have been some 30 days.
Whatever.
Remember she was assistant for 30 days.
Yeah. Even though she had 2 more days.
That whole, if you're on Total Divas, you don't get the belt.
Yeah, I think that shit went out the window.
Yeah, thank God.
But it'd probably been better if they had it on either Paige or Natalya, not motherfucking Nikki Bella.
Yeah, that's just that was absurd. I don't see the point.
Yeah, so fuck this match. And we get to the traditional elimination Survivor Series match. Kane, Mark Henry, Rusev, Luke Harper and Seth Rollins versus Big Show, Eric Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and John Cena. Pretty decent match. Kind of shitty opening. With Mark Henry just running into Show's fist and getting eliminated like that.
That didn't go over well. Like if you're gonna go for a spot like that, it's got to be way more believable than that. Like I understand they work safe, but for a spot like that, you might want to talk to they could have actually made that look better. That just if you want to shock people or something like that, it's gotta happen a lot more. It's got to be a lot more believable than that. That was not. I understand they're trying to get the laugh out of the dudes getting hyped up. He's getting crunk. He's going to get in there and kill. I understand the humor in that, but the impact has to be worth it. Like the impact wasn't there.
It was just a stupid move, and didn't really see the point in it. The next elimination was Ryback. He got cursed on by Seth Rollins. Then next elimination was Rusev when he took Dolph Ziggler out. and was gonna send him through the Spanish announce table. Spanish announce table just not getting love.
It never has. It just
Dolph
Never
Ziggler,
will.
Dolph
That's a
Ziggler,
travesty.
Dolph Ziggler moves, and Russo takes a belly flop through the Spanish announce table,
it
knocks
doesn't.
himself out, and gets counted out. And I would have called that if we did our predictions, but
Yeah,
oh well.
but I got to give it to Rusev though, man. He had intensity, man. He was before he got eliminated. He was just whooping everybody's
Oh yeah,
ass.
speaking of Rusev, I did like that shit Punk was talking about when he was telling the dude to hit him, and he
Yeah.
was like the dude when he hit him.
Yeah, it's like hit me.
But Dolph got back in, Rusev was eliminated. Then Eric Rollins was eliminated. And then Show turned on Team Cena by knocking out John Cena, shaking Triple H's hand, and walking out.
Which is also a badly executed punch. I've seen him do better.
And also, he wasn't really eliminated from the match. He was still, in there. The ref didn't count him out. So there you go. After that, Cena got pinned and Cena was out, which was a shocker. Then Dolph was by himself, and then Dolph took out both Kane and Luke Harper, and leaving him himself. The Stooges got in there and tried to interfere, but Dolph took them out. He hit Stephanie that was on the
Yeah, I was
turn.
wondering how she went down the screen pro. I didn't see
Yeah,
how
she
went.
got bumped off the apron.
Oh, okay.
Then um, did he hit Seth Rollins with the famouser? Well, he hit him with something that knocked out Rollins. Triple H pulled out the referee. Triple H got in. Pedigree Ziggler. He signaled for another referee to come, and then out of nowhere, the man showed up. The icon Sting. Sting finally arrives at WWE. This is his first time in anything WWE.
Yeah.
So I guess the wait was over. Sting comes down to the ring, gets in the ring, has a stare down with Triple H, and somebody pointed out that Triple H says, "Miles, I don't give a fuck who you are."
Yeah.
And he gets kicked and gets.
I like Sting's look. He just like
And then
Kept that same facial expression the whole time.
it was a good stare down. I give it that. I liked it. It
a
was
lot
a
of
good
people talking about Sting's hairline.
It was good.
And
And
Sting,
that soul patch.
yeah, Sting kicked Triple H and gave him the Scorpion Death Drop. Puts Seth Rollins' hands off of Ziggler and puts Ziggler on top of Seth. 1, 2, 3, and
Scene.
Dolph Ziggler wins the match for Team Cena, and the Authority was out of power. And Survivor Series ends with the Authority in the ring and Stephanie crying.
Yeah, pretty much 10 minutes almost. Like, God, they were in there for a good while.
If I had to give it a rating, I would give Survivor Series Bret Hart. And I give the main event 8 and a 9 for Sting. Because that pretty much saved this whole pay-per-view.
That saved the whole pay-per-view. I mean, some people, like, I remember I was asked by some people about, like, what I thought. And here's what it was. Like, personally, I need to, like, it left me questioning what they were going to do now. They brought Sting into this, but the Authority's out of power. Where do we go from here? Now they're in the hands of John Cena. Sting is here. Where do we go? Where's the antagonism? It made me wonder, but I was glad to see Sting. I thought the build to it was good. I think that the only flaw of that match was just that one curb stomp to John Cena. He sold it really terribly. He bounced up and it looked so fake. But other than that, it was good. Everything else he did was good. So yeah, I'm in the 8 to 7 category. About 8. It was an 8. It was about an 8. Solid 8. The match was. The pay-per-view itself was like the pay-per-view maybe a 6.5, 7. About a 7 because Sting was there. It's about a 7. Maybe a 6.5.
Anything you like to add, Pipe?
I didn't fucking see it, so
It's what it is. It was about a
you know,
6.5. Pike was
that's
again.
why I get. I mean, I didn't have to see it. As soon as I went on Twitter and it's like, steak, on Facebook it's like, steak, and then one Facebooker was like, this is the greatest moment ever.
Oh yeah,
Survivor Series.
the
Oh
Sting
my God, it's
fans.
Sting. Oh my God, this younger generation don't know. Wow. And then I just remember watching Talking Dead, and then that's when it started. It was like, oh shit, really? He actually showed up.
Sting,
And then
man.
thank all the 100 people who posted that same video of him showing up.
Gentlemen, I did something so fun with the Sting scene. I replayed the Sting scene, but then I sunk in the music from NWO versus WCW Revenge at the opening. I sunk that in underneath the actual scene and just played out the stare off between Triple H and Sting with that music playing. Oh God, it's so worth it. Everybody needs to try that. It's really worth it.
And so I can't give it a grade. My grade is a zombie. I give it a zombie.
A zombie.
A zombie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it's still great to see him. And now the question is when the fuck is he coming back?
Yeah.
Great seeing him whoop Triple H's ass. That was great.
Yeah, somewhere Dizzy Carter's crying.
Oh God.
Let's move on to the Raw after Survivor Series. Before I get started, does anybody want to say anything about Larry the Cable Guy?
I'm so happy I watched Gotham instead.
After Santino came out in that goddamn mask, I pretty much said, "Fuck it, I'm getting some Chinese food."
I was done. I caught some of this at work, and I just went back upstairs.
Yeah. So Raw opened up with Stephanie and Triple H in the ring, pretty much saying that we're gonna wish they come back and they give this place 2 months, and then out of nowhere comes Dan Bryan doing the yes chants in front of Triple H. And Triple H's face is priceless.
Oh yeah, it was good.
And then what was even funnier was when he did it in front of Stephanie when they were walking away. So I guess Darren Bryan was like the special guest GM, and he made matches throughout the night with Team Authority. Some we would get into, some we will not. Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper was a pretty good match. Ended in DQ with Bray Wyatt coming in and attacking Dean Ambrose. Let's see.
I think you're starting to see the missing link there, but go ahead.
Another Fandango versus Judge Gabriel. Don't give a shit. Big Show came out and explained why he did it. He said he was scared that he had a family to feed, and
He just turned to a bitch. That's what it was.
Pretty much. And then Eric Rowan comes out and Show try to be funny with the little voice. God, that sucked.
That was terrible.
And then Eric Rowan said that he doesn't like bullies, and then him and Show fights. I guess that's the next feud for Show.
He was kicking his ass, though.
Does anybody like that spinning kick that he does? and California Kid puts a face palm.
I mean, he moves.
Oh. No.
Okay. Next we have Brie Bella versus AJ. And pretty weak match.
Not a good offering.
And pretty much AJ comes out with a microphone and she congratulates Nikki, and then she gets on the mic after the match and pretty much says the quote on the mic that talent is not sexually transmitted, and that it took 2 bells to beat her, and they don't come close to her to be half the woman she is.
Soap opera.
So there you go, folks.
Funny joke. I mean,
So there you go, folks. The burial of AJ has begun.
Yeah, they're gonna bury her.
And it's probably gonna get worse.
I just think that's. I mean, what else? Like I said, what else can you do to her?
Well, we're not gonna get into Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Tyson Kidd and Natalia. Fuck that. So Daniel Bryan, like I said, made matches for the Team Authority members, and one of the matches was Seth Rollins, and he go on the app and pick who. Let's be honest, they all wanted Jordan Mercury and Jamie Noble to win. So fucking obvious. I hate when WWE do that shit. But I'm a little disappointed because, you know, is anybody that's a fan know Jamie Noble can go.
Jamie Noble's good. Jamie Noble's like one of the best wrestlers.
And that was the only reason why I voted for that. What we got Monday was a
piece of shit.
Yeah.
My God, dude.
Well, I did get a new Galaxy Tab, so I wanted to try it out. So, but it's just sad because what we got Monday night was a disappointment. They kept, mixing up with real wrestling and the gimmick bullshit. And it's just sad because Jamie Noble can really go and can really wrestle, and it's just really stupid the way they did it.
Jamie Noble is one of the best wrestlers they have. Like still, even though even after all this, he's still. If you put him in there, if you put Jamie Noble in there, he can wrestle circles around some of the people who they think are the best they have. Like he'll wrestle a circle around them. Like that's how good he is. If you guys some WWE strictly WWE fans don't really know how good he is because they don't watch Ring of Honor, they don't watch his other matches. But I mean, if you just refuse to watch independent wrestling or watch Ring of Honor, please check out some of his early stuff and really watch some of those early matches he had when he was with Nydia and he was the champion. He was like the cruiserweight champion. Watch that stuff, man. He was the man. Shoot, that guy, he could go. And dude, he'd find some kind of way to put you in the Tiger Bomb. He was good, man. He could chain. I think it was either Davey Richards or Eddie Guerrero said that Jamie Noble could wrestle circles around him. Like Jamie Noble is good. Sad.
Yeah, Cena had the double A on Mercury, and Zill's hit the zigzag on Noble, getting the win. After the match, Rollins ran up the ramp, but Daniel Bryan threw him back in the ring, and Cena hits the AA on Rollins, and then Bryan's music hit, and then all of a sudden came and then without warning, Rocco Cole stands up, and apparently it's the return of the Raw GM this coming Monday. And apparently I read on the reports that it's not Hornswoggle, and even though they
keep saying his name,
even though everybody know that they did a thing saying that Hornswoggle was the Raw GM, apparently WWE's trying to not, let it be known, thinking that the fans are stupid and trying to say that it's not Hornswoggle. So there you go, continuity again. What the fuck is it?
Why would you pick Hornswoggle?
Well,
just
WWE logic.
I mean, really, you could, for God's sake, just bring back Foley if you need a GM. Just get somebody in there who actually is worth watching.
And so basically, it says that all the shenanigans is done, the party is done. This week, order be back in WWE on Raw. Is anybody looking forward to this?
No, because
not really. Gotta hear that fucking noise again.
Stupid.
And hear Michael Cole saying like, "Whoa, the hell no."
Not good.
And I quote, "The shit is."
No.
And I quote, "The shit is lame."
Not good.
So that's pretty much it. I guess we can get into this. Starting in January, TNA has a new home with Destination America. Finally, we get a resolution to where TNA is going to be. With all the speculation of Spike still talking with TNA. TNA made the announcement a couple of weeks ago that their new home is Destination America. No word if it's still going to be on Wednesdays or not. For those of you that don't know, Destination America is one of the channels of Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, and Discovery Kids own network. And if you have satellite or like Dish or Direct TV, you probably have it. If not, then check the local list and all that.
Oh, they're really gonna do that.
But does anybody have any opinion about them going to Destination America?
Oh.
It,
There has been some news. They did say that they are replacing Mike today as the lead commentator and replacing him with Josh Matthews. Sorry.
okay. Since I mean, as much as I want to give an opinion about them going to this network, which I've just heard about it from you guys years, like what is it, some days ago when we started talking about this, is to me it's a little too late almost, because it's funny because I actually had started back watching TNA because people were saying the matches were better. Friends were telling me the matches had gotten better, and you know what, they to some degree they have. But here's what angers me about this. Now you wanna go out there, like I blame the management for this, because now you wanna amp everybody up. Now you want to get everybody to go out there and start putting on real good wrestling matches. Now you want to go back to what made you a successful company after you've had like tons of opportunities to do this. And I remember we said on this show and talked about how many times TNA should have shut down. Like I kept saying they need to shut down. Some people say they just need to revamp the roster. I said they need to shut down and just reopen, shut down for a week, clean up the roster, clean up management.
They pretty much are doing that since I think they say last week was like the last Impact for Spike TV, and they're supposed to be, well, not last week because they have it in Thanksgiving, but the week after. And the rest of the week is supposed to be best of. I pretty much doubt that Spike TV is going to do that shit.
Here's a fun game. Here's a fun game for us. All right. Remember, I'm gonna put each of us in the chair in Dixie's chair. Okay. Your plan, real quick. Your plan for the future of TNA and how you plan to get back into competition. Because right now, if you go to this network, you're out of competition. Like not everybody has direct TV or whatnot. You're pretty much off the air almost. You might as well say. What would be your Dixie Carter right now? What is your plan? What plan do you have? Your talent's giving you 100% finally now. Now that you don't have, you're probably still paying some people off on contract, but you now have the reins. You now have it back under control. What do you do? What do you do? You can't re-sign with Spike. What do you do?
I said I would have sold the Toby Keith and Jeff Jarrett.
Thank you. The Pike. Is it like, same thing? Like, man, it's like I wouldn't even got this point. I would have cleaned this up like last year. We wouldn't even got this point, like for real. Like that's just me.
Would have gave it to Toby Keith to switch him to CMT.
You too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moved from Spike TV to CMT.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, let's just look at it this way. Now that they own Destination America, hopefully they can do something, but they're not gonna have as big as budget like they did with Spike. And it's just funny how Dixie pretty much took shots at Spike, even though Spike was pretty much behind them, gave them money for like Sting, Hogan, I think also Booker T, Nash, and all those other stars.
It's wasted money.
That pretty much TNA couldn't have if they were by themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, at least for Dixie, it wasn't as bad as what Paul Heyman went through when they were TNA.
He was screwed. Oh
Yeah,
man.
pretty much.
So for her to take shots at Spike like that kind of shows why they're in the predicament that they are in right now.
I don't think she quite knew the politics.
Yeah, and they said that they're gonna do a new logo, new lookout for Destination for the show in January. And I'm willing to give them another shot just to see, what they do.
Here's the thing: it's not even about giving them another shot. They're going to be better because with the budget lower, and with people are going to go out there now, and they're gonna bust their bums now, especially the newer talent they pick up. If they pick up the new talent, people are gonna go out there. It's gonna be like it's gonna be I'm betting that it's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be probably the best kind of wrestling you can get because for one thing, if they tone that like with the lower budget, a lot of the production values are going to be dropped down. They're going to be toned down, and I bet you the show is going to look a lot better, and the wrestling is going to be a lot better. I think that the show before that point on Spike, it was too nuanced. It looked too clean. The wrestling was too safe. The product, the stories were terrible. That they shouldn't have even been doing stories. It's just a whole thing we talked about over the past couple of years with TNA. It was all wrong. The money they got that they got from Spike, any monies, any fiduciary funds they got from Spike, dealing with trying to bring in more talent, more older talent, more over talent, or whatever they want to call it, legends, bringing back the legends was wasted money. They shouldn't have spent a dime on some of these guys. They could have brought back one or two, but they shouldn't have brought back the entire WCW roster. It was a freaking clusterfuck. But yeah, there was so much other newer talent they could have brought up that would have entertained us more. That they just wasted funds on old guys like Rick Steiner. Let's put Hulk Hogan in management. Doesn't that say that to yourself? You have a wrestling company that's on national television, and all of a sudden in a board meeting you decide to promote Hulk Hogan to manage or hire him in for management. Does that sound sane to you?
Not really.
Then you bring Kevin Nash. That even his talent. I mean, does that sound sane to you?
No.
I mean, really.
But I'll give it a shot just to see what they do with it. But pretty much everything is gonna get cut, and they're not gonna do it big as they did when they were with Spike.
They'll be better
The only thing that now is they really gonna have to lean hard on both YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and all that because word of mouth is pretty much now the only option for right now.
Really, yeah.
So hopefully best for TNA and it all works out. All right, let's get to some.
I'm just happy I found that channel. So. No.
But let's get.
I'll check it out, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, don't do it.
No, I'm doing just fine watching Lucha Underground.
Yeah. And we'll get back into that next episode.
Yeah.
Because I caught up since the first episode, but we'll get caught up next week. Little entertainment news before we go. Star Wars: The Force Awakens trailer came out. Anybody got any opinions about that?
I've seen that thing like 8 times. I posted it shared it on Facebook twice. I'm already counting them. Wait, I'm ready. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it. The only Star Wars movie I saw in theaters was Revenge of the Sith.
I saw all 3 prequels. You
brought it up. You saw the Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace wasn't that bad.
I don't get everybody on that one.
I understand why people hate on it, but it wasn't really that bad. I mean, if you take out Jar Jar Binks,
compared to the other, the shittiest one, really.
Well, yeah, it's the shittiest one, but as long as you don't pay attention to Jar Jar Binks, it's a decent movie.
It is. I mean, I didn't think it was that bad, but here's of course you're gonna be watching this trailer. I of course got excited. I can't help but get excited. It's Star Wars, but
I mean, it's like what my wife's cousin said. You just didn't think in this lifetime we were going to see a whole new set of Star Wars flicks, stories and whatnot. So this is very exciting.
Yeah, and I mean with the first trilogy, here's my fascinating on the first
And it's
trilogy.
amazing because you give props to Disney for doing this.
Yeah.
Like Disney's got some of the biggest balls in the company in the whole movie area. So I mean, it's like they're pretty much owning it.
But I'll just wait. I had to wait and see. I got to listen to some word of mouth before I go see it in theaters.
Next year is gonna be the year of Disney.
Yeah, it's gonna be December 2015, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
They have a whole year.
But it's gonna be talked about the whole way down. Like,
I just hope it's good. I hope it's good.
I hope it's really fantastic.
I wanna be excited. I wanna love the movie. I want it to have rewatch value. So I want to rewatch it over and over again. I really want it to be good. I hope they get it right. And yeah, I mean, my only gripe about the first trilogy, the newer trilogy, the prequels, is that they just, to me, I think I was hoping that they would have done it more true to the old style, like more puppetry, less CGI. Still use CGI, but just a little bit less than what they used. To me, it was just, and then the wipes. It just those production. It was just production issues I had with the first, with the prequels. I had gripes about the production value. I just didn't like I didn't like it to look like that. Then they started messing up the original movies, which that was my gripe about it. I just hope this one is going to fit.
It's like I have faith in J.J. Abrams.
I hope he does it right.
And that dude's gonna be the next James Cameron.
Yeah.
It's like you already done the Star Trek thing. Let's see what you do with Star Wars.
Yeah, he did Star Trek really well. I enjoyed that.
We shall see, gentlemen. Okay, before we go,
have you seen the Peanuts trailer?
Yes.
Not yet.
I saw it.
I need to. I saw when they were on the Today Show and they showed who was doing the voice acting for all the kids, and they had Charles Schultz's son on there.
I will be watching this. I'm going to be watching this. I'm hoping it works.
When's it supposed to come out?
November next year.
Oh, well, that sucks.
But that's gonna be you got probably the 4 biggest movies next year already. It's gonna come down to Avengers, Star Wars, Peanuts, and Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah.
That's gonna be exciting.
As I'll leave that one.
Mockingjay Part 1 was good. Not better than Catching Fire, but it was good.
Yes, we know. We're not even gonna say that your wife forced you to go see that movie.
What?
Nothing.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Surprisingly, Catching Fire was good.
Say we're not gonna say that your wife forced you to go see that movie.
Hell no, my wife didn't even watch
it. Damn.
What you saying damn
for? Nothing. I'm just playing. Alright. Last topic, folks, I got some sad news.
Trashing Hunger Games. Anyone gets the Fault in Our Stars.
Good Lord. Some sad news. Apparently, Constantine may be headed for cancellation. NBC halted the production at, I think, either 12 or 13 episodes. So, yeah. So, Constantine might be headed to cancellation. Sorry, comment. I mean, I understand why they put it on Friday because they wanted to compete with Gotham, Arrow, and Flash. But Friday's just a bad time.
It's not a good time.
Fuck that bullshit.
Unless you're Grimm.
Nah, Grimm, that's not an exception because Grimm has been in that position before too.
And it's been canceled. Still there. It's been 4 years now?
It's been canceled, so stop that. But if you want,
the only other shows I can think of in the past few years is that Tim Allen show. Oh, and Blue Bloods.
But if you want to help out, please use the hashtag Save Constantine. The actor that plays Constantine also, show love for with the sign saying "Save Constantine." So if you're like me, probably I don't know if they haven't seen it yet. That saw the show and actually like it's pretty decent, and I was getting very into it. And you still want to see it survive? Please put the hashtag Save Constantine. And
I just love your I love your passion, man. You're really trying.
no,
You know,
I'm serious.
Dave Constantine.
I mean, it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, it is. It's just
And if
nice
it
to see you passionate about a show.
and if it does get canceled, I hope Netflix picks it up. But then again, I don't know what's their deal with Marvel. So
Yeah.
either that or Hulu picks it up.
I'm sure Hulu would definitely have no problem with that. It'd be really cool if BBC America got it.
Maybe.
BBC America would treat it better.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, I gotta talk about that whole Luther thing.
The what?
The whole thing with Luther.
Yeah, shoot.
About them
Oh man, can you believe that shit?
saying they're gonna do American version. I'm okay with since what's his name gonna be involved with it. Yeah. But let's be honest, the last time they did something like this was The Office.
Yeah,
But drama one
luckily panned out very well.
But drama wise was Doctor Who, and it didn't turn out so well, especially on Fox. So I'm holding my breath on that. But hopefully it's good. But with that, that concludes another Triple Threat. Please subscribe.
Well, such a downer, didn't we?
It wasn't a downer. It was being
kind of a downer. Like, Sid Constantine. It's like that's our little piece right there. It's like, hi, we're Triple Threat, and the one thing we don't like is shows we like almost getting canceled. So please, save Constantine. Thank you for listening.
Jesus.
You should end the episode like that.
Okay, well,
for Big D, for California Kid, and for the Pike. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, like us, and leave a comment. And thanks for joining us. Yep. Anything you want to add, California Kid?
Thanks. Really.
And go
listen to the CM Punk interview.
Yeah. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. Real eye opener. Bye, everyone.